Okay. Um, I'm going to do the pros now. This is going to be more interesting, and we'll see if I can keep it shorter. Because I don't know like how anyone can make a video about anything and it not be at least half an hour long, right? Anyways, so the first pro we're going to put is... Oh wait, I need to make this bigger. I think it was 72 for that, right? Yeah. Natural. We'll just put environment, I guess. Okay. So, as I talked about earlier, there of course have been people in the Americas for 10,000 years. Um, However, most of these cultures didn't, make, at least like I said, in the east of North America, they didn't make structures that led to like permanent um, damage to the ecosystem. And in the West, if we're talking about, again, like North America in the West, we do have remains like the Chaco Canyon, which Chaco Canyon is like a really important. I'm gonna get a picture for you guys. Maybe it's like pretty cool, I guess. It's like a UNESCO World Heritage Site or whatever. But this is in New Mexico, right? It's near Four Corners, I think. There's stuff like this, but you see here, like, there's no like forest that was destroyed or anything. This kind of actually just adds to the environment. Um, and as a result of that, we have, first of all, a lot more untouched forests. Let me see if I can get up a graphic of cover in America. Then let's see if we can find one for Europe. Okay, this is a good graphic. And I would like to get, like, see if there's one of a similar uh, scale. Because this one that I like of America it's like percentage based. Let's see if we can find one here. Okay, this is like a kind of stupid like background color, but we can use this. So this one isn't. I was looking at one with counties that I liked more, but this is just states to be more, match the Europe one. So we got that. And this is Europe. So, firstly, as you can see, there is this region here, which has little forest. That's the way the plains are, and there is like steppe, right? Like, isn't there like some steppe like over here? Maybe some steppe like the dry, arid but cool climate, um, like Mongolia or whatever. But let's look at the British Isles and Iceland. This is like a very low percentage. Iceland, you can see here, 2% is less than. Oh, same as North Dakota. But Iceland is supposed to be forested, as is places like Scotland. That's how they were, until the Nordic people or whatever came, and cut down all the trees. That's why they look the way they do, and it's kind of beautiful in a way how they look, but whatever. And then if we look at mainland Europe here, this is all mostly like supposed to be like a forest ecosystem, but as you can see, compared to the eastern United States, it's kind of lackluster. Um, Even like Delaware like contends with these at 27%. Um, and if we look at like Ohio, which is in my opinion, a rather urbanized state, and also this half of Ohio is like pseudo plains. It's not the real plains, but whatever. We still are like the same as Germany, more than Poland. So that's one part of the environment that makes it better. Another part, let me just get rid of this stuff. just, just, yeah. We're just gonna banish it. Oh, wait, no, not that. This is a good program for this. There we go. Buy and okay. I'm going to add onto here because I guess it is different enough. Okay. Slash. Okay. Now and the other thing is, like, of course, America is way more varied. Even just the country of America, not even the whole continent, is a lot more varied than Europe. Like, there's a little bit of true desert, and I'm using Köppen climate classification system to determine this. There's a tiny bit of true desert in the southern coast, the southern part of Spain, not the coast area, but like more inland and South Spain. But really, they don't really have much desert. Um, they do have, um, and they don't have any like tropical areas. Like, I mean, they're much more north than us. But like, they don't have like Florida, you know. Um, oh, I wonder who texted me. Is it important? It's somebody telling me that Discord went down. This is this is a good part for my video. Okay. Anyways, he doesn't even know that I wasn't even looking at Discord. um. Anyway, so America's just, I don't know. And the scale of our tallest mountains is bigger. I don't think that the height of mountains is that important as an Appalachian supremacist, but that is worth noting. Um, and it's just so much bigger. The plains are so much bigger. They're so open. They're so empty. And we have like the Pacific Northwest, which is like a temperate rainforest. Um, and we have the coasts of 2 oceans. We have our own Gulf now. You guys didn't know we have the Gulf of America now. Um, we have Hawaii. Like, what an incredible diversity of environment. And now for climate, let me pull up Europe. Okay, why are these so ugly and stretched? What the heck? Seriously, why is every single one all stretched? Okay, that's fine. I can just stretch it, re-stretch it myself in here. This would be like, there, that looks about right. So this is the Köppen climate map of Europe. So can I like zoom in? Okay. Right. So let's look here. The green regions stands for temperate. The blue, well, stands for, it's not, but okay. The green regions represent temperate. The blue regions represent continental. What temperate means basically is like, well, I think it's easier to say what continental means. Continental is like temperate, but with more extreme temperatures, and in both directions generally. So if we'll look like here, this is where when we talk about Europe, I mean, this is where a lot of the people that we're talking about live in this area, like here, roughly, whatever. There is like the Ruhr Valley or whatever, which I believe is the largest urban center in Europe. Of course, London is a huge city. Paris is a huge city. And these people are all living in this stupid stupid continental climate. I think the continental climate is the worst climate because it is the lamest, not because it is the least pleasant. Of course, okay, yeah, there's huge amounts of Europe that are still continental, but I mean, when we talk about Europe, are we thinking about Belarus? Not really. I think this is a lot more what we're thinking of. And the yellow here is also continental, but this is like Mediterranean, uh, which means it's about like the rain season, whatever. The Mediterranean climate is also in California, in some parts of California. So the yellow and green here is all the temperate. That's a lot of people living in what I'll call that's like a soy climate. Now, yeah, why are all these maps stretched? Whatever. Okay. Well, here is why is it like weirdly transparent? Also, whatever. Oh, and it got all messed up here. Okay, because it's transparent. Let me get a better one. Here we go. I guess this is fine. Um, I guess this point is not like super good for the east. It's more of like a western, a western of someone who loves the west point. Um, but as you can see here, first of all, we have like a more diverse spread of climates here. For example, yeah, we have, if you look down here, we have I believe, do you guys think that that's AM or AW? Either way, these are called the blue on here is called megathermal. And then the D or whatever is like microthermal. So megathermal just means it's hot. And as you can see, a little bit there. Okay, yeah, so it looks like there's savanna monsoon and rainforest present in South Florida. Uh, those are nowhere to be found in Europe at all. It is a small bit amount, but you know. And then we have a ton of the B climates. The B climates are the arid climates. So there's like semi arid and arid slash desert, and then there's hot and cold variations. Um, and this is like kind of weird coloring. I don't know why they made like the meta. Well, I guess that's okay. They they made some of the like okay. This is not. I don't think this is standard naming conventions to call the DS's like Mediterranean. Mediterranean to me cannot be continental. Normally I would just see this as like a like warm like dry summer continental. I feel because I've looked at this a lot. Whatever. I don't care. Um, but I don't know. I will say yeah, my point is not that good because look at look at how much is actually in the same stupid continental, but I mean sorry, temperate. But let me pull up some numbers now really quick. We're gonna look at London, kind of like if we oh my gosh, no wait. So if we were to like draw this is like the circle of there, and like London's like what there, so that's like in the middle, and this is like you're in the middle. Okay, we'll go with Nashville. We'll do it. Let me pull it. Let me go to my favorite website, one of. It's called Weather Spark. It's incredible. I've spent so much time on here. London. Let's. Oh God, London. This is so embarrassing. And soy. So basically, my point here is that uh, temperate is the lamest one, and Europe has a lot of temperate. A lot of people living in temperate. But I think that our temperate on here is even better than theirs. So look at this. The hottest month is August with a high of 74. The coldest February with 47. So that's only 27 degrees difference. Nashville, don't prove me wrong. let's look this up. Nashville. Okay, yeah. There we go. Okay. So here we go. Nashville climate. The hottest, man. I'm sorry for you guys who live here. This is terrible. 90 and then 48. So this is 42, and this was what, 27? And as you can see, even like the hot places, Nashville, this is in the south, it's hot. Their winter is like the same as London's winter. In fact, the lows are lower. So this is like not even comparable, really, because these colors can be like huge ranges or whatever. But okay, so I'm just saying basically, Europe's climate is much more boring. They don't get as much snow. Let me see if I can get a snow map of America. Hopefully we can find some with the same scale. This is a nice graphic. Oh, this is only through February 1st. That's not good. This is better. Annual. Okay. So here we go, and the scale here is okay. So the average snowfall, and by the way, this is like a factoid I like to talk about, but I don't know how it's measured because it's like I looked it up one time and it said like the average snowfall in America is like 20 inches or whatever, and is that like they took every county and averaged it together? I don't know. But so these like green areas are kind of like average or below average, and then the rest are kind of above average. I live about Portage County is about like right here. We're like kind of on the edge of the, you can maybe call it snow belt. I think the best way to describe, and we're not the frost belt either. How I would describe us is the salt belt. I like salt belt. But okay, let me see if I can find one for Europe that is kind of like a similar scale. Chance of snowfall for Christmas? No. Okay, this is good. But is this centimeters or inches? It does not say. But that's not good. That's not good if I, because I would think that it must be centimeters. I mean, it is Europe, but I was thinking, oh man, this is so small, but it's because it's on the stupid European scale. So I'll use this anyway. We can do a little bit of, well, the color scale is about the same, I think. Like, no, it's not. Man, I'm sorry. So 20 centimeters is what, like a foot, maybe? And on here, a foot is anything below this lightest green. So it's not exactly the same, but I'm not good with centimeter to inches conversions. I'm sorry, but let's just look at like, okay, here's kind of all of these places don't even have like tallyable snowfall. And remember, this is where so many people live. But then if we go here to like Germany, a lot of people live in Germany. So this is like let's just say 50 centimeters. For accuracy, I'm going to look up 50 centimeters. That's 20 inches. That's 20 inches. That's like less than like the average in America. So that is just so boring, and it sucks. So there we go. I will move on to my next point. And I like how that point took almost 20 minutes. But it's a big one, in my opinion. Okay. The next one that I will make is well, here's the issue. I mean, a lot of these things are just like they're not particular, they're not intrinsically better about America, but I like them more. So am I supposed to, well, I guess all of this is, no, these things are uh like this, maybe draw this here. These things are near objectively bad. Well, a lot of people like conservative. There are a lot of conservatives. So I'm trying to make like an objective list here. Hmm. Um, okay. I'm gonna pause and think about this because, yeah, most of the things that I love about America are a little bit more specific. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I decided that I don't need to be objective and I can just talk about whatever I want because this is my channel. So the next thing I'm gonna put is better tarantulas. Okay. If you are afraid of spiders or whatever, I'm sorry. Because there'll be pictures, I'm sure. So basically, there's Old World and there's New World tarantulas. Um, of course, the Old World is Afro-Eurasia, whatever, and then the New World is the Americas. There are no tarantulas in Europe or Oceania. That word sucks. It's like Oceania. That's not right. I know it's not right, but I don't know how to say it. Oceania? Is that right? It sounds wrong, but anyways, but there are tarantulas in Africa and Asia, and then there's tarantulas in North and South America. The Old World and New World tarantulas differ in a few ways, but the number one way is that New World tarantulas. Oh, okay, we'll start. Old World tarantulas have more potent venom, uh, to just in general and to humans specifically. Is it even like scientifically sound to say that something has a more potent venom in general? Because it is so dependent on whatever's being bit, but whatever. Um, uh, okay. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Right, they have a more potent venom. This is because it's more potent to humans because they contend with like more mammalian threats. Um, some of them, specifically the Poecilotheria genus, let me pull up. I believe there's only two species in the Poecilotheria genus. There's the P. regalis and the P. metallica. The P. regalis, I think, is a little bit more. I think it looks a little bit better. I'm going to pull up a picture of it. Uh, this is the P. regalis. Isn't that beautiful? The Poecilotheria tarantula. The P. metallica looks the same, but it has blue. Um, the Poecilotheria tarantulas are, I mean, I envision they're very long, right? Anyways, their venom is like maybe the most potent to humans of any tarantula, and you can go to the hospital from it. No tarantula venom can kill an adult human. I mean, if you like have an allergy to it, maybe, but it could maybe kill like a baby or a really old person. But if you're just like a normal adult, you don't have to worry about dying. But these will leave you in pain for months. So this is like an old world tarantula. Also, there's like this gross old world. There's like um some gross ones. I think that this trait is found in multiple genuses in Africa, but there's like horned tarantulas, and this is a disgusting picture. I'm sorry. Like, what? Isn't that gross? We don't have that anymore. Like, that's gross. But anyways, well then also let me bring this up. So, one of like the most famous, like, I don't know why it's the most famous. I believe it's the largest in Africa, so that's part of it, maybe. Let's find a good picture. I don't like any of these pictures. They're all like in captivity. I want one in nature. I guess they've become so. Okay, here we go. This one's in nature. This is called the king. Oh, it's so small. This is called the king baboon tarantula. The king baboon. I don't know. A lot of them are called baboon, and I actually don't know why. But one thing I will give the old world, there's a cool type. It's the Socotra Island blue baboon, another baboon tarantula. I think, first of all, that they are gorgeous. Let's come on. That picture's not that good. Where's a good one? Okay, we'll just do a picture of someone holding it. No, because I... Okay, we'll just do... Here, this picture. Um, why is it so tiny? Whatever. This is the Socotra Island blue baboon. It's on the Socotra Island, which I believe is like near Madagascar. Um, and basically, it's the only tarantula known to live communally. But I just think that they're super cute. They remind me so much of dogs. I don't know what about this specifically reminds me of a dog, but it does. But the New World tarantulas, I like them better because, well, it's related to their defense, which is mostly their defense against predation is urticating hairs. All tarantulas like have like hair, you can see, but um, the New World tarantulas look a lot hairier, and it's because like their hair is important to their defense strategy. So oh, what is a good picture I could send? Because I have the curly hair tarantula is like the most default tarantula you can like get if you're first getting into it, but they are beautiful nonetheless. Let me pull this up. Look at this. Look. Okay. To most of you, this probably doesn't look cute. It probably is like horrifying and disgusting. But if you spend enough time looking at tarantulas and learning about them, they will become adorable. Like this is, oh my goodness. This is so beautiful. And my tarantula, she just molted like a day or two ago, but she hasn't come out of like she did it in her burrow, which I call like her cave. Um, and she hasn't come out yet. So I all I have is like she dug down to the edge of the enclosure so I can like kind of see her when she went in there. Um, so you can like see like oh they get so fuzzy after they molt because basically in the time after they molt they're kind of like wearing down like they're losing hairs. The tips of their feet, the tips of their legs have like a foot with a ton of microscopic hairs on it that helps them climb stuff, but those start to fall off too. And then when they molt, they're just stunning again. But that plus New World tarantulas being heavier bodied and shorter legged, I think just makes them so much more adorable. Um, I will show you a few more Old World tarantulas, and then we'll look at some New World tarantulas. So, let's see, what Old World tarantulas could I do? Okay, this is the OBT. This is like, I think that what happened with OBT is like it was called like Orange Biting Tarantula or something, but now they call it like the Orange Beautiful Tarantula because the idea that tarantulas are violent, vicious, evil creatures is like it's unfounded and it's not fair, I guess. So that is beautiful, but look at like, see, it's not as fuzzy. I don't know. It's not. It's just not as cute. Oh my gosh, it's not as cute as this one. I can't wait for mine to come out so that I can get a picture of her like this. I'm sure that she's gorgeous, and I'm excited to feed her again. It's actually been a few months since I fed her. Um, Anyways, what other old world tarantula could I show you? Oh, do you want to see a gross tarantula? Um, this is called like, there's like only like one picture of this on the internet for some reason. This is called like the Middle East black, or like I think it's also sometimes maybe called like the Israeli gold. Don't know why. Um, look at how like this is just not cute. Like that's gross, right? Okay, now let's pull up, the like traditional Brachypelma smithi, which is the Mexican red knee. Oh, and yeah, now I'm talking about the continents, by the way, not the country. But there's good tarantulas in the country of America too. But I mean, the Brachypelma genus is the one that has this orange and red, and these are found south of the Rio Grande, mostly in Mexico. So there's like, yeah, my tarantula, the beautiful curly hair under here. Curly hairs, there's like a Nicaraguan variant and a Honduran variant. I don't. I think mine is a Nicaraguan variant. They're pretty similar. If you're not an expert, you can't really tell the difference, I think. Um, so that's cute, and we can look at let's look at the Arizona blonde. I'm just showing you guys kind of default ones. There's more underground ones. Like okay, this is the Arizona blonde is a pretty common one. Where's the good? Which of these pictures is good? Okay, this one is pretty cute. Yeah. Okay. Um, Look at that. Look at oh, that is adorable. And see how it's like fat and fluffy and stuff. Oh my gosh. Then of course we have in the Americas we have the largest tarantula, which I don't find particularly cute, but it is adore. Not oh man, I'm tired. It's midnight. I gotta talk quiet. Like I'm messing up my words. Whatever. I think it's impressive. Is the Goliath bird eater. Here's a good picture. That's pretty big. I think it's believed that the salmon pink bird eater can get to the same size as a max size Goliath, and the salmon pink bird eater is a lot cuter. Yeah, I just think that's cuter. So, anyways, we have better tarantulas in the Americas. I'll be back. Okay. I was just taking a break from talking for a second because I, I, my voice kind of gets tired. But anyways, so that was my second point. I'm gonna zoom out so I could just. There we go. Okay, my next point. I guess this kind of goes into this one, so I'll just put it under it. I guess, but I want to talk about specifically better lakes. Okay, this will be about, I guess, North America overall. So, um, let's pull up 1 second. I'm just gonna look up list of largest lakes in the world Wikipedia. This is by area, not can I wanted to like have like a little condensed chart. Um yeah, I want a condensed chart. Let's see if there's something like that. Okay. This is kind of a slop chart, but it's fine. It's very blurry for some reason. Okay. This is high quality. So firstly, number one, as you can see, is the Caspian Sea. Caspian Sea is not a lake. It's a sea. It's in the name. And I don't listen. Uh, I, I don't know the actual scientific difference between a lake and a sea, but I've read some hydrologists say no, it's a sea. So okay, that's gone. Next one, Lake Superior. There we go. America. Next one, Lake Victoria. Uh, America. Africa. Um, then we got Huron and Michigan. These are kind of hydrologically these are the same lake because they're at the same they are connected and there's no if so the maximum like size of a lake is determined by the okay it has to be connected and then also there has to be no change in water level. So if you go to the top of Michigan where Lake Huron and Lake Michigan are divided, there's actually like no waterfall or anything there, so they're the same lake. um the next lake is I don't remember what it is. Okay, I'm gonna have to look on Wikipedia because this is like it's such a slop image. swap image. Okay, this is not a lake that I know a lot about. Is this the lake next to Malawi? I'm gonna look on Google Maps 1 second. I apologize that you can't see what I'm doing. You can just see my cursor moving. But that is the lake next to Malawi. Yes? Oh, it's like the sister lake of that one. Okay. It makes the border of the DRC and Tanzania. Okay. It's called a Tangan Tanganyika. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's in Africa. Okay. That's not ours. Next we got, like, I think that this probably says Lake Erie. No, sorry, Lake Erie is going to be, it's not going to be on this chart because it is the 11th if you count Caspian Sea. But since we know the Caspian Sea is not a lake, I can add this in here for us. So this is probably, well, Lake Ontario is not on. So what is this? This is probably Great Bear or Great Slave. Oh man, it's Baikal. Okay. Asia. Then we got Great Bear, Great Slave, and then this is the Malawi lake I was thinking earlier. Okay. So out of the top 10, well, and since this is like 2 lakes, we can actually add another one lower, which would be 12th technically, but it's actually, as we know, it is 10th. So this is the top 10 largest lakes in the world, hydrologically or whatever. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are in America and Canada. Isn't that incredible? And they're all kind of in like an interesting thing. Let me get a Google Maps screenshot. I don't really know exactly why this is. So the Great Lakes, if you don't know, you probably do. I don't know if this is common. No, I don't know if like people outside of the Great Lakes region learn about them in school. But the Great Lakes were formed by the glacier, the like Laurentian Glacier or whatever it's called, the Wisconsin. There's like a Wisconsin lobe or something that I think was down near the Great Lakes, but it's like I don't really know why there's such this like perfect diagonal trajectory. But so we can see Erie is there, Ontario, Huron, Michigan, Superior, Winnipeg. Then this is Bear and this is Slave. And then there's also what is it called? Lake of the Woods is pretty big. There's Salt Lake over here. Lake Champlain is over here. I just think we have better lakes. And I also want to mention / best bay. Oh, and by the way, yeah, so like people I know in Europe, like they can't even comprehend that a lake is like that big because they've never seen that. Isn't that sad? Anyways, and then the best bay, the Hudson Bay. No, I'm gonna change this. Wait. This is gonna be bold, but check this out. Best hydrological feature. Okay. What? Okay, you can. Best hydrological feature. That being the Hudson Bay. The Hudson Bay is incredible. It's so desolate around pretty much 100% of its coastline. And the Hudson Bay is the coldest, like, it has the coldest, like, air mass in the world. And then down here we have the Gulf of America. And the Gulf of America is, like, one of the warmest air masses in the world. So what you end up having is, like, what you have is, like, okay, this is so, oh, and this, by the way, it goes like up over here, so it comes along this whole area. There we go. So that's kind of like that super the super warm air, and then the Hudson Bay comes all the way down here, and they kind of intersect, kind of in Ohio, I think. Um, and this is why there's such a steep temperature gradient in like my area. When you go north and south, it's a steeper gradient than like the plains. Um, and this causes like storms and stuff. Like when the Hudson Bay air mass, like there's like the polar vortex thing. I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. I just think that like this sort of thing is cool. So the Hudson Bay is the greatest hydrological feature in the world, according to me. Okay, so let's just get rid of that. Okay, the next thing. What else can I add? These are some good. These are some good things. Well, I can put down here. I love. We'll just put individualism, and it is understood that it is to be understood that I mean these things, but not sprawl. Sprawl is bad. So, individualism, created by things like Protestantism, the population density, and car dependency, have led to economic inequality, which are bad. But in my soul, in my heart, I love it, and I love these things. Um, Protestantism, I think, is a much less like grotesque. And by the way, again, if you haven't seen the first video in the series, don't watch it. There's no reason. Um, I will reiterate that it's been brought to my attention that connotationally, Catholicism and Protestantism, that divide is different in other places, because apparently in like places with a larger like Hispanic immigrant population, it's associated with them. Um, where I live, there's not much of a Hispanic immigrant population, and so I associate Catholicism with like what did I say in the last one? Like uh, I want to say the same word that I said with like uh, kind of like elitist white people or something like that. Because apparently like anti-Catholic sentiment in these like cities that have a lot of Hispanic immigrants can is like sometimes associated with like an anti-immigration rhetoric or racism, and I'm pro-immigration and anti-racist. So I just wanted to clarify. Um, and I don't have a problem with Catholic people. This is just how my soul feels, and it may be because of the general like sentiment in my family or in this area or how I was raised. Whatever. It's not that I don't want to say it's not that deep, but I'm just saying I don't like hate these people. I don't hate the people who follow Catholicism. This is just what I care about. Okay, that was a long kind of liberal um, preamble or whatever. I think that Protestantism is a much less grotesque version of organized religion. You can watch my ideas slash theories video on kind of what I think about, but I'm basically like Gnostic. So that's not that much. That's not really like an organized religion in this way. It's more of like like a school of thought, maybe more than it is a religious affiliation, but it's not the same. There's not like a doctrine. There's not like churches uh, for Gnosticism. Um, so basically, I think this is less grotesque because it lacks the hierarchy that Catholicism has. For all the reasons that it is bad for economic inequality, that's what I like about it. So maybe I'm evil. Maybe maybe somewhere inside of me I am evil and like economic inequality. I don't know. Lower population density. Who wants to live in a city? I think that if you live in like okay, right? If you let me get like a population density map thing. By the way, I'm sorry that I'm like comparing this all to Europe, but Europe is like a comparable. it's like pretty comparable to America in a lot of ways, so that's why I'm doing that. Population density. I want to find one for America and Europe that matches. Like made in the same. Okay, so these are not really the same. Huh. Well, I guess we can look at that one, but I want the thresholds to be the same, you know. So this one, that one, green comes in at 25 per square mile. So kilometer would be like, okay, wait. I swear I'm like good at math, but sometimes I get messed up with conversion. So a kilometer is smaller than a mile, so we would need less people. So we would need like a dozen people to be the threshold. Man, all the thresholds are different because okay, here's a better way to illustrate it. Um, Ohio is a high density state. I think it's like the 11th highest density in population, which is disgusting. Spain is a low density country of Europe, like one of the lowest, maybe the lowest. Ohio's population density is hardly higher than Spain's. Now, Spain's is more centralized around Madrid and other cities. They don't have kind of. Ohio has, like, outside of the southeast, there's a pretty. You're not going to get, like, much desolation. Um, but still, the population density is, like. It's not high. You know, you get a lot of farmy areas where there's just, like, houses and their farms and they're far apart and whatever. It's not like cities. And also the primacy or whatever of the primacy of Madrid doesn't it doesn't really add, in my opinion, to the lack of density thing because that means that more people are living in the city. Whereas in Ohio, I mean, I could do the math or I could just estimate it. Um, because it's hard to say like Madrid versus Cleveland. These are not comparable cities at all, but imagine that they were. Um, Cleveland is just so much larger in area, especially if it had like the 9 million people or whatever that Madrid has. So it's kind of hard to say. But I would say that a higher proportion of Ohio's population lives outside of like an actual metro area. Metro area here, not referring to what will come up if you look it up, because if you look up the Cleveland metro area, for example, all of Geauga County will be included in that one. Really, it's only like Chagrin Falls that should be. Um, the rest of it is not really the metropolitan area. They're kind of satellites, maybe like Chardon is like a satellite of Cleveland, maybe, but it's not. I think like Lake County. It's fair to put that in there though. Lake County and Erie County, but I mean, sorry, Lorain County. But right? Am I stupid? If I made a mistake about like counties in this video, I would be so embarrassed. Yeah, okay, it's Lorain. Okay, phew. Anyways, so more people in America live in rural areas and less dense areas, and I think that that's good. If you're in a place with so many other people, here's something. If you are in a place with less people, you own more of that place. If I go to one of my favorite beaches, I guess, is the like city beach in Ashtabula. Uh, and I've been there before where I'm all alone. That's normally nighttime. It was like nighttime in November, not peak beach season. And it was just like I got the whole beach was mine in that moment. if you go where when other people are there, you barely own any of the beach. Maybe you own none of it. If there's enough people there, you own none of it because nowhere is truly safe from other people. I recently went to Pittsburgh. Let me see if I can share some pictures because it is it's a gorgeous city. It's probably my favorite city. Um, Man, looking through my pictures, saw a picture of Sprite. It's making me jealous of a version of me that had Sprite. Pittsburgh, where are you? Okay, so first of all, this is unrelated, but this is PPG Place in Pittsburgh, essentially like Pittsburgh plate glass or something. Uh, so it's like this complex of buildings that look like this. Now, look at this. Uh, um, where's a good picture to illustrate this? I guess like this is. No, that's like. No, I don't want that. Yeah, this is like good. Okay. Now, look at this. This is Count Bleck's castle in Super Paper Mario. And let's see if we can get like an internal view here that really illustrates the point. Why is there like there's like weird stuff about like what is Team Black apologist? Whatever. This person has made illustrations of I guess they love Count Black or Team Black, which includes all of his minions. But see, isn't this very similar? Anyway, so that's I was in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is a beautiful city, and I enjoyed getting to go there. All I got to do was like walk around for 1 hour, but and also by the way, parking garage for 1 hour in Pittsburgh, like $22. What are we doing? But anyways, it was a unique novelty for me to walk around in a city with towers like this, but it was, it's disconcerting and uncomfortable that there's really nowhere you can go where no other people are if you're in downtown Pittsburgh. Whereas if you're in downtown Ravenna, I mean, you can go where other people aren't. Oh, here's a picture of. This might just turn into a me sharing pictures video. You know what? I'm done making this. I'm gonna make a sharing pictures video. I don't know if that's a good idea, but that'll be something I'm gonna do. So, bye.